So guys, I was just watching Stephen Dawson doing a house tour. So I thought I'll do a house tour as well. So this is my bedroom. I was just lying in bed there. There's a flag up there. There's an asexual flag. I was just lying in bed there. I was lying in bread, actually. I was lying in bread. Just watching my tablet. There's a little table there for cups and for charging my devices up there. There's plugs behind there. There's fursuit number 2. That's my second fursuit. That's my newest one that doesn't smell of BO. There's my guitar over there. And here's my clothes. Most of them are hanging up, but some of them are down there. My clothes there, just for a variety of colours. This is the gaming room, and fursuit number 1, my oldest fursuit, which smells of BO. There's my outside clothes. There's outside clothes. There's new trainers, old trainers, VR trainers. There's my computer, which needs to go away for repairs, unfortunately. PS5, TV, PSVR 2, monitor, different posters up here. They're for the VR, so the VR can see the walls. It understands where the walls are, because otherwise it won't understand the depth of the walls, or the depth of the room. There's a toilet. Nothing to see here. Here's where I shower. My shower right there. Every morning I have a shower, and there's my all my toiletries up there. Those sponges need to get thrown out. I'm not using those. I use that sponge. This is kind of like a storage room. I actually charge a lot of my stuff there because there's an extra plug socket there. But apart from that, this is just kind of a storage room. I have a very old computer there. That's a Windows 7, very bad computer. There's a few fursuit detergents and scents up there. Just different electronic items. This room is very disorganized and dirty. It's just kind of like where I charge my stuff, and it's kind of like this room. That bike is for sale if anyone wants to buy it. This room is the same story. It's just kind of a storage room. I'm not really too bothered about that. This is the kitchen. This is where I cook all my food. It's my fridge with oat milk, tomatoes, butter, lots of vegetables, all vegan food. Tins, potatoes, olive oil, chili sauce, condiments. That's condiments, medicine, and then spare condiments and tea and coffee. That is a cupboard for rice, couscous, quinoa, lentils, that kind of stuff, pasta. This is a cupboard for spices and teas. That's rooibos, that's chamomile, that's mint, and that's berry. And then we have coffee, tea, and sugar. And then I've got these spoons for doing that, for getting the coffee in. Because if I use that spoon, then the sugar ends up all full of coffee. But if I use these spoons, sugar doesn't end up all full of coffee. tumble dryer, washing machine, dishwasher. I've never even used that dishwasher. There's the bins. That's paper and plastic and cardboard and tins. That's waste that can't be recycled, and that's organic compost. That's the sink. These are all bottles that can go to recycling for cash back. Now that could be all, but I want to show you this. This cupboard right here is full of stuff from previous residents of this house that they'd left behind. There's a Henry the Hoover, and there's a bunch of there's old army jumper. Like, what? There's an old army jumper. Isn't that weird? Isn't that fucking weird? Do you know what's the weirdest thing about it though? Is that I had one of these army jumpers when I was like maybe 10 years of age. I had one of those jumpers. Isn't that weird? There's one of those jumpers there. I had one of those exact jumpers when I was maybe 10 years of age. Isn't that weird? Oh, there's one in that cupboard. Isn't that weird? And then there's what? A knife set. The box. There's actually another extension cable there. There's just different items, you know, but these items are like decades old. I'm talking going back like generations, you know. Like this teapot was here when I first got here, and it had like look at this, right? This teapot was on the mantelpiece when I first got here, beside a fucking a crucifix with Jesus on it, right? And it had like one of those plug things that you get on the front of the plug, and it had like a button, like a button for your shirt, and a piece of string. And I was looking at that, I was thinking, what the fuck? Why would you have that, you know? And then it's got like Henry the Hoover documentation, and like this, you know, what? I think that might actually be, I don't know. It's got like shoes like that, like what? What? And it's got like a lamp, you know, and a statue thing like that. Just the weirdest items ever. Just the weirdest collection of items. Look at this stick. There's a stick in here, you know? Like, what the hell? Why is there a stick? Isn't this the weirdest thing ever? There's curtains here. And there's a Christmas tree, apparently. Like a Christmas tree right there. And you know the weirdest thing of all is these trophies. These trophies right here, they're from the 1980s, 81 to 82. Under 13 league, 81 to 82. What is that even doing there? Do you know what I mean? A trophy. It's not gold or anything, it's plastic. Isn't that so weird? 81 to 82. Under 13s. Under 15s. Douglas Hall AFC 85. 1985. Under 15s. So, whoever was living here before me obviously played for the under 18s in the 1980s. Or several different under 18 teams in the 1980s. And clearly, they were quite successful. And they just left their trophies here. Under 13s CSL League winners. 1981. And it's soccer, isn't it? Isn't that soccer? Not Gaelic football. Whoever it is played soccer and won all these trophies and just left them in this house. And look at that. That's something. And there's a Christmas ball, you know, like very. It's all in a Henry the Hoover bag. Isn't that weird? There's this, which is an AC/DC adapter. There's a bit of mouse poo up there. A bit of mouse poo there. And then like there's clothes here as well. I didn't know there was clothes here. Honestly didn't. Look at that. Let's take a look at this actually. What the hell? All those clothes there. It's quite spooky, you know. There's Christmas lights there. This is all from the previous residence. There's a clothes horse, a clothes dryer. There's bugs on that. This cupboard is definitely the weirdest place in the house. And there's a hole up there. There's a hole in the roof. Because it's just like such that army jumper is just so weird, because I had one of those when I was like 9 years of age. I remember it distinctly. That's definitely spooky, you know. I don't know why the hell that's there. Woo!